Hey friends, real talk for a second. YouTube hasn't been showing my videos to as many people lately. So if you're here and you're watching, thank you. It genuinely means the world. If you could take just a second to hit that like button and drop any kind of comment, even just an emoji or a hey, it helps way more than you know. Seriously, it's the difference between this episode getting buried or reaching someone who really needs to hear it. Also, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss a drop. That way, the moment I post a new episode, you'll be the first to know. Alright, grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's get into it. Nick and Kelly had been married for 5 solid years. Not a fairy tale, but a stable, warm kind of love. Recently, Nick got a promotion, the kind that looked great on paper but came with strings. Long hours, endless emails, and too many quick turnaround business trips. The money was good, especially in their small town. But what's a fat paycheck when your marriage starts to feel like a timeshare? Kelly missed the little things. The late-night convos about nothing. Those goofy memes they used to send each other from opposite ends of the couch. Even the way Nick used to pause before bed and ask, "How was your day, babe?" But lately, he'd come through the door looking like a ghost, drop his keys, peel off his shoes, and collapse face-first into bed. Right around that lonely stretch of routine and rain, a new hire joined Kelly's office. Shane Parker. Early 30s. Tall, charismatic, and bursting with that over-caffeinated gym-before-dawn energy. From day one, it was clear his interest in Kelly had nothing to do with workflow synergy. Kelly noticed. And yeah, she kept her wedding ring visible. But after months of feeling invisible at home, the attention felt good. She kept it in the harmless category. No lines crossed, she told herself. Just coffee breaks. Just DMs. Just inside jokes that slowly turned into stories about childhood memories. Favorite songs. Secrets shared way too late into the night. Then came another one of Nick's trips. Saturday. Vain. Kelly was curled up on the couch scrolling through a feed that felt as gray as the sky outside. Bored and stir-crazy, she messaged Shane. He replied instantly with a joke that made her actually laugh. Not the polite kind. When she mentioned feeling stuck in Netflix limbo, he offered, "There's this new rom-com playing, silly but uplifting. Want to rescue each other from cabin fever?" Kelly froze. She stared at that blinking cursor. Married woman. Movie night with another man. How would that look? But then came the rationalizations. It's just 2 co-workers and overpriced popcorn. She typed, "Sure, why not?" And Shane. He was a perfect gentleman. Bought the tickets. No wandering hands. Afterward they strolled through the park. String lights glowing, the air crisp. When the wind picked up, he walked her all the way home. And on the doorstep, he half joked, half hoped. "Any chance I could come up for a cup of tea?" Without thinking, she said yes. Southern hospitality, she told herself. That was the domino. Inside, the kettle hummed. Shane spotted a lone bottle of red on the shelf and teased. "Tea's nice, Kel. But how about we toast to an unexpectedly great night?" 3 glasses later, the wine had blurred the boundaries. Compliments poured like the Cabernet. How beautiful she was, how he'd fallen for her the moment HR said, "Meet your mentor." How he'd replayed their chats over and over. Kelly, tipsy on attention and longing, forgot everything. The wedding photos on the wall, the time zones Nick was crossing. And it happened. In the bed she'd picked out with her husband. The next morning, reality hit like cold water. Kelly woke with a strange arm draped across her waist and a freight train in her chest. She slipped out of bed, sat at the kitchen table, and stared into nothing. When Shane finally wandered in, expecting breakfast and a kiss, her whisper cut through the silence. "Last night was a mistake. I married. Can't. I'm so sorry." He tried to argue, to rewrite the narrative. Tell Nick the truth. Be with me. But she was already shaking her head. For 2 weeks, Kelly ghosted him. No more coffee breaks. No late-night DMs. Just guilt, thick and suffocating. That's when she realized what she'd almost thrown away. Nick was a good man. Flawed, tired, overworked, but good. When he came home from his trip, she greeted him like a woman reborn, cooked his favorite meal, laughed too hard at dumb jokes, swore to herself she'd take the secret to the grave. Why shatter him? Why burn everything down over one mistake? But that choice was never hers to keep. One Thursday, she came home and found Nick at the kitchen table. A single shot glass, thick stack of papers. Her stomach dropped. As she stepped closer, she saw what was on the table. Printouts of every private message with Shane. And on top, a Polaroid-sized photo of her, half-naked, asleep beside Shane. Turns out, Shane hadn't taken being ghosted very well. He'd compiled the receipts and mailed them directly to Nick. Nick's world tilted. When he opened that envelope, he expected maybe hotel rewards, a bill. Not this. He read the first few pages. Then the shaking started. By page 3, he couldn't even hold the paper. He poured bourbon into a glass and kept pouring until the words blurred into nothing. That's where Kelly found him. She launched into her monologue. Tears, apologies, explanations. But Nick. Only one question echoed in his mind. Why? When her sobs turned to hiccuping wails, he stood up, voice flat as concrete. Pack a bag. Leave. There's nothing left to say. She left wearing yesterday's mascara and a heart full of regret. Nick spent a few dark days inside that bottle. But eventually the fog lifted. Forgiveness. That was a fantasy. The marriage. Over. He filed for divorce. To her credit, Kelly didn't fight. She knew she had no ground to stand on. She kept her head down, avoided mutual friends, let the lawyers handle the rest. Nick didn't chase revenge. He called it a waste of energy, a terrible investment with zero return. He let life handle the sentencing. Because eventually everyone would know. And that label, the wife who cheated, has a way of following you into every future relationship. Who lines up to date a cautionary tale? And that, dear friends, is the story. If it hit you in the feels, or felt like a giant flashing neon sign that says don't, smash that like button. Drop a comment. Share this with someone who might need the reminder. Until next time, stay kind, stay honest, and keep those boundaries bright.